11.
Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you to this very special occasion, 250th Sadgun Sa. It's a truly a proud moment for all of us to reach this remarkable milestone, and it would not have been possible without your continued support and enthusiasm and participation of our community. Today, we have gathered here to explore a very important and practical topic, communication skills, something that shapes not only our personal growth but also our professional success and relationship in life. Agenda for Sadgun Sang Meet. Virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria. Invoking the blessings of deity, chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of speaker. Presentation by Mr. Vikas Patil. Question and answer session. Closing session. Dr. Sundar Kataria, Chairman and Managing Director of ICS Group Companies. Sadgun Sang conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with a mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environment awareness level of industries. Sadgun Sang is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professionals on possible solutions to current issues of industries and economy. Designation as organization. Chairman, Managing Director, International Certification Service Private Limited. Academic qualification. Doctorate in Business Management, Mechanical Engineer. Experience. Rajasthan Atomic Power Project, India first nuclear power plant, RAP at Rawatbhatta, Kota, built by Indian engineers. Worked as a nuclear scientist for 11 years, successfully completed, commissioned the plant. Engineer India Limited. First batch of engineers to develop Bombay High offshore oil as gas field mega offshores, complex platform, trunk, submarines, pipeline, underwater inspection, and indigenized oils as gas equipment, etc. That NARSCO world largest classification society. Worked for 17 years at various capacity for the certification of fixed offshores installation, submarine pipelines, onshore projects, and personal qualification, underwater inspective drivers. ICS. He is a founder of the India First Certification Confirms Assessment Body established in the year of 1999. Provider of total quality solution, certification of management system, ISO inspection, testing and training qualification of personal. Achievement awards. Received lifetime achievement award for the contribution for the corrosion technology from NACE International by NIGIS under NACE USA. Social worker, protection of life, asset, environmental and safety.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Please join us for recitation of Gayatri Mantra. Introduction of the keynote speaker. Designation as Organization Marketing Manager International Certification Service Private Limited. Academic qualification. Master in Yogic Science. 2-year philosophy for Buddhist Center. University of Mumbai. 1-year diploma from the oldest institute in the world, Yoga Institute. 2 years experience research on yoga therapy. Area of specialization as experience. Experienced yoga therapist, meditation trainer, stress management, conducted various training as workshops, mental training. Certification awarded Samaj Bhushan during COVID for the contribution in counseling as yoga therapy. 5-time state level winner in yoga competitions. Departed training sessions to IIT Powai students on yoga on their special day. So without further ado, let's us warmly welcome Mr. Vikas Patil and invite him to enlighten us with his insights.
Thank you so much, Piyush, for the lovely introduction. Welcome all. Good morning to all. Today's topic is communication skill. Without a single minute delay, we will start. Communication skill. What is communication skill? First, we have to know about what is communication. Communication is two-way process of conveying information, ideas, feelings, opinions between two or more persons, either verbally or non-verbally, using a medium. Communication makes it possible to exchange opinions, thoughts, and meanings through spoken words, written text, non-verbal sounds, physical gestures, facial expressions, and even dance or combination of it. Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another. What American Management Institute says, communication is any behavior that results in an exchange of meaning. So this is all about communication. Now view this beautiful story. Moving forward, communication happens between humans. Communication happens amongst all other species. Communication also happens between a human being and all other species also. So this is the very important slide. If you learn this slide, if you understand this slide, you will learn the core of the subject. So view this slide very carefully. There are only two components, sender and receiver. What sender will do here? Sender sends message. The message first germinates in the mind of sender, and say what sender will do? Sender sends a message through a channel and receiver receives the message. This is the half process. What sender will do? Before sending message, sender has to encode the message, and after receiving the message to the receiver, what receiver will do? Receiver will decode the message, and thereafter he will interpret, he will understand the message, and receiver will send back feedback, that is called as feedback. And when feedback is received by sender, the whole process of communication is completed. Without feedback, the process of communication will remain incomplete. So this is the whole summary of the topic. This is the full process of communication. Now we'll see what are the components here mentioned. First component is components of communication. These are the 8 components. First one is sender, second one is receiver, message, encoding, decoding, medium, noise or barrier, and last one is feedback. So without feedback, communication process will not completed. So each and every communication, we need a feedback from the person who is receiving our message. For example, I am communicating with you, with all of you. So whenever you want to give me any feedback, you will type in the chat box. That is the medium of feedback for me. It means that communication is being happen. Now, what are the methods of communication? There are 2 types of methods. We can communicate verbally and also non-verbally. Verbal and non-verbal. What is verbal communication? Verbal communication where there is words, sentences, language is used. It is communicated verbally through words. What is non-verbal communication? Absence of words, sentences, language. We do not communicate it verbally. It is with our body language, posture, gesture, expressions, our dress and grooming, space and proxemics, silence, auditory signals, visuals, etc. These are the means of non-verbal communication. Now, verbal communication. Verbal communication is expressed through 2 ways, that is oral as well as written. So oral, again, it is divided into 2 parts. Oral is communicated like face-to-face communication, and telephonic communication is also considered as oral communication. So in face-to-face communication, talk, personal talk, one-to-one communication, then group discussion, meetings, conference, etc. These are the examples of face-to-face communication. Now, and one more is telephonic communication. It is also oral communication, verbal communication. Now, what is written communication? Whatever we send in written form, that is called as written communication, like letters, memos, reports, notice, circular, and even we send WhatsApp messages. It is also a kind of written communications, small text messages. Okay. So these are the 2 methods of communication. Now, what is the contribution of both in our communication? Verbal and non-verbal. Almost 50-50. non-verbal communication contributes equally important as verbal communication. So for effective communication, our verbal as well as non-verbal communication should be very, very sound. Now, the next point is, what is difference between communication and language? So language is the source of communication. Say any language, whether it is English, Hindi, Marathi, Bengali, Punjabi, Gujarati, any language. Language is only source of communication, and communication is the source of connection. Through communication only we can connect with others. Verbal communication, non-verbal communication. What is verbal? Any form of communication in which words, means language, are used to convey a message is verbal communication. Oral and written communication are verbal, both verbal means of communication. Whereas non-verbal communication, without words or without verbal message, is known as non-verbal communication. It is expressed by our posture, gesture, facial expression, tone of voice, silence, eye contact, dress and grooming, space and proxemics, signs and signals, auditory signals, visuals, etc. In face-to-face communication situation, conceptually, non-verbal communication is any means of conveying meaning without the use of verbal language. Non-verbal communication constitutes 45% of the total communication. Now, this is also very good, very informative, very important slide. It is describing the difference between oral communication and written communication. What are the advantages and disadvantages, so limitations of oral communication? So, what are the advantages of oral communication? Oral communication saves time, whereas written communication takes a lot of time to write. Oral communication is less expensive, direct and informal. Oral communication, we can talk directly to the person and with the informal manner also, formal as well as informal. Instant feedback. In oral communication, we can take immediate instant feedback. Persuasive in nature, we can pursue the person who is receiving the message. Then develops relations, motivates the speaker. Instant feedback. This is very important advantage of oral communication. What are the advantages of written communication? It has legal evidence. When we send written communication, we have a legal evidence about that. Then permanent record. We can keep permanent record of written communication. Written communication is very, very accurate and precise. We cannot describe a long story each and every time. It is very accurate and precise. Then wide circulation is possible in case of written communication, because there are 0% chances of misleading or misinterpretation, because words cannot be changed in written communication. So whether you communicate with a single person or you communicate with a group of persons, the meaning will remain the same. So wide circulation is possible. Less chances of misunderstanding because of firm words. There are less chances of misunderstanding, whereas in oral communication there are chances of misunderstanding, because one person listen, he communicates to other communicate with again others. Then there are chances of misunderstanding in oral communication, but there are less chances of misunderstanding in written communication. Suitable for lengthy message. In written communication, you can send lengthy message and it will be received 100% as it is. But in oral communication, it is not possible. Written communication makes a corporate image. So these are the advantages of oral and written communication. Now, what are the limitations? First, we see what are the limitations of oral communication. Problem of retention. Once you have spoken something, you have no proof, you have no evidence, so you cannot retain. The person who is telling you something can change his words in the next meeting also, or he can deny what he has already said. Lacks accountability. The person can deny accountability for what he has already spoken. Then chances of misunderstanding. There are chances of misunderstanding, problems of distance. If the person is not very close to you and he is listening it from the distance, then interpretation may be wrong in that case. Lacks legal validity. If you say something verbally, it has no legal validity. Diversion of subject matter. Subject can be diverted in written communication, but it is not possible in, sorry, diversion of subject matter is possible in oral communication, but it is not possible in written communication. Now, what are the limitations or disadvantages of written communication? Written communication is time consuming because you have to write it on paper. Whenever you write on paper, you have to think about each and every word. A single sentence you have to form. You have to read it again and again. So written communication is time consuming. It is also expensive. If you are communicating with other company or any other office, then you have to type it, you have to take printout, you have to spend on paper, printout, then you have to appoint a person who is expert in oral communication. Then so it naturally it is expensive. Then problem of feedback. So in oral communication, you will get instant feedback, but in written communication, feedback, you will not get instant feedback or clarification. We have to wait for the response from the person, from the recipient. So problem next is problem of writers. Everyone is not expert in written communication. So there is problem of communicating secret information. See, there are certain secret information which cannot be sent in written form because there are chances of leakage. Information can be leakaged. So, security related or government's very highly top secrets, they are not sent in written form. Okay, this is very important slide. Moving forward. Now, we'll explain about verbal communication. Verbal communication is communicated verbally with a single person or a group of persons or a large gathering also. Non-verbal communication. First is body language. Body language is the use of physical behavior, expressions, and mannerism to communicate non-verbally, often done instinctively rather than consciously. Whether you are aware of it or not, when you interact with others, you are continuously giving and receiving wordless signals through our body. Postures. If a person has their shoulders back and spine straight, this is an indication that they are engaged, listening, and open to the ideas or information you are presenting. If they are exhibiting poor posture with their shoulders slouched or raised and spine bent, they might be nervous, anxious, or angry. Open posture involves keeping the trunk of the body open and exposed. This type of posture indicates friendliness, openness, and willingness. What is closed posture? Closed posture involves hiding the trunk of the body, often by hunching forward and keeping the arms and legs crossed. This type of posture can be an indicator of hostility, unfriendliness, and anxiety. See the example of closed body language and open body language. These are the body postures, body positioning. Facial expressions are also among the most universal forms of body language. The expressions used to convey fear, anger, sadness, and happiness are similar throughout the world. One study found that the most trustworthy facial expression involves a slight raise of eyebrows and slight smile. This expression, the researchers suggested, conveys both friendliness and confidence. What he's indicating, you can guess. Probably he's saying that I don't understand what you said. Or he's saying I don't know anything about it. So without saying a word, we can understand the message clearly. Now, eyes are frequently referred to as the windows to the soul, since they are capable of revealing a great deal about what a person is feeling or thinking. As you engage in conversation with another person, taking note of eye movement is a natural and important part of the communication process. Some common things you may notice include whether people are making direct eye contact or averting their gaze, how much they are blinking, or if their pupils are dilated. So, eyes plays very vital role in communication. When a person looks directly into your eyes while having a conversation, it indicates that they are interested and paying attention. However, prolonged eye contact can feel threatening also. On the other hand, breaking eye contact and frequently looking away might indicate that the person is distracted, uncomfortable, or trying to conceal his or her real feelings. So we have noticed these things so many times. Now, what is blinking about eyes? Blinking is natural, but you should always pay attention about to whether a person is blinking too much or too little. People often blink more rapidly when they are feeling distressed or uncomfortable. Infrequent blinking may indicate that a person is intentionally trying to control his or her eye movements. For example, a poker player might blink less frequently because he is purposely trying to appear unexcited about the hand he was dealt. Now, facial expressions communicates mostly emotion and attitude such as friendliness, affection, dislike, anger, contempt, anxiety, etc. A face is like a book in which you can read a lot. See, these are the examples of facial expressions. There are different facial expressions. each one is showing, and we can easily identify what they want to express. Now watch this slide also very carefully. Moving to the next. These are the different kind of touchings. Touchings also give some expressions: love, affection, confidence, counseling, hatred. All expressions are indicated here. Gestures in a face-to-face communication always add and support oral communication. They supplement and intensify speech. They convey effectively what the speaker want to convey by words. Sincerely, eagerness and friendliness are communicated by shaking the hands firmly. The movement of parts of the body, hands, arms, even legs and feet are grouped under the heading of gestures. The understanding of gesture is very difficult when the various elements are separated from their context. It is said that each gesture is like a word in a language. In order to be understood in a language, one must structure one's word into units or sentences that express complete thoughts. So are the gestures, they are to be understood in harmony with one another. So we'll better understand with the pictorial presentation. These are the examples of gestures. With the help of single gesture, we can understand what is the message is conveyed. For example, whenever Sachin Tendulkar completes his century, he is habituated to raise his bat at the center of the ground. Now, dress and grooming. Dress and grooming plays very important role in our communication. The way we clothe and decorate our bodies in order to send message about ourselves to all we meet. For instance, every occasion we need different dressing because our dressing also communicate. So this is the broad message, pictorial message about your dress and grooming. Whether male or female, we have to dress as according to the occasion. If we are going to office, then we should be very neat and clean. For example, your hairstyle, our hairstyle, males as well as females, then our shirt, pant, belt, tie, even shoes, color of shirt and pant, they should match with each other. Either they should in similar or in contrast order. Now space and proxemics. So space between the persons also tells something us. What is that? We understand space and proxemics. So the persons who are communicating with each other or persons standing in front of each other, we can identify their relations with the help of their distance. How much distance they are keeping while communication or while conversation. If intimate distance, for example, husband, wife, they will communicate with each other in a very short distance. They will stand, they will behave. Their behavior is like a husband wife. But if there is formal communication or social distance, so we have to keep formal distance also. We cannot go and touch the person. So approximate distance is given here, indicated here. Now everyone knows about social distancing. How much is it? Is around 5 to 6 feet. It is social distancing. These are other examples of space and proxemics. If there is intimate relation, then there will be very less space between the persons. But if there is no intimacy between the persons, so they will stand far from each other amongst them. They will keep distance amongst themselves. These are the different pictures. Now, silence. What is silence? Silence also indicates indirect message. With the help of pictorial presentation, we will understand what is silence. These are the few examples of silence. All these pictures are showing that somebody has expired and they all are gathered to mark their silence. Silence is the speech of spiritual speaker also. When somebody, a talkative person, when keeps silence, then it is also message. Now, auditory signals. Auditory signals are heard and the message is communicated instantly. What are those auditory signals? We'll understand with the help of pictorial presentation. Auditory signals we can easily identify with the help of this kind of signals. Traffic, police, then siren, then bell, then train horn, dog barking. These are the examples of auditory signals. Okay. Now visuals. We need some visuals for communication purpose also. Signs and symbols communicate by means of accepted signals. Certain signals are having a meaning. These are the visuals. We can use visuals like this. This is for example, traffic signal. Nobody will tell you what is going on. Only signal is indicated and automatically the message is communicated to the mass within a fraction of second. If 100 people are there on signal, all of them will understand what is the signal, what it is telling about. Now, what are the channels of communication? We communicate through different channels. Channels of internal communication. This is for an organization where there are employees working or any formal organization. For example, government organization, public-private limited companies, business premises, business establishments, where there are so many people are working. There we need formal as well as informal communication also. So what are the types of formal communication? Formal communication is vertical, horizontal, and diagonal. So vertical communication means from top to down. This communication always happen because top management wants to communicate with the employees of the organization. So there is a examples of circular, instructions. So this is downward communication. What is upward communication? Suggestions, feedbacks, employees' feedbacks. So down to top communication is known as upward communication. It comes under vertical communication. Now horizontal communication happens within the department, within interdepartmental communication, within same level of employees. And third one is diagonal communication. It happens with any department, with any, irrespective of whatever designation. It happens everywhere, diagonal communication. So all these three form of formal communication, these are the channels. And now what is informal communication? Informal communication, there is no formality, no limit. It is popularly known as grapevine communication. What is grapevine? We can understand with this picture, grapevine communication. Anybody can communicate with anybody. A peon or assistant can communicate with the director of the company, promoter of the company, or owner of the company. Any designation. There is no hierarchy, nothing formality, and no limit also. Now, the best communication example I want to show through a beautiful video clip. Just enjoy this video and watch it very, very carefully.
मेरे आदेश देने के बाद भी तू रुका क्यों नहीं?
मैं तो बहुत पहले ही रुक चुका हूं, तुम ही नहीं रुके।
तुझे मुझसे भय नहीं लग रहा? मैं आदि मानव हूं।
नहीं, तुम मानव हो।
जोगी, तूने कहा कि तू कब का रुक चुका है, और तू तो चल ही रहा था, और तूने ये क्यों कहा कि मैं नहीं रुका?
मैं बहुत पहले ही रुक गया। ऐसे सारे बुरे कृत्य छोड़ दिए जिससे किसी भी प्राणी को दुख या कष्ट पहुंचे। मैंने जीवन की सुरक्षा करना सीखा। सब जीना चाहते हैं, बस तुम उन्हें करुणा से देखो तो।
मैं सबकी हत्या करूंगा। मानो में न प्रेम है न करुणा है, सिर्फ छल और कपट है।
तुम्हें लोगों ने बहुत दुख दिया है उंगलीमान। क्रूरता व्यक्ति अज्ञान के कारण ही करता है। घृणा, द्वेष, ईर्ष्या, मोह, माया, ये सब अज्ञान की ही संतान है। और वो व्यक्ति ही है जिसमें दया, करुणा, सद्भाव और समझ का उदय भी होता है। उंगलीमान, यदि इस जीवन में क्रूर और निष्ठुर लोग हैं, तो दयावान भी हैं। बस अपनी आंखों से ये अंधेपन का पर्दा हटा के देखो।
तुम और व्यक्ति जैसे नहीं हो।
मैं हर व्यक्ति जैसा ही हूँ, बस जागृत हो ये सिद्ध कर रहा हूँ कि हर व्यक्ति में जागने की क्षमता है। मेरा मार्ग क्रूरता को निर्बलता में परिवर्तित करता है। तुम घृणा के पथ पर बस इस क्षण रुक जाओ। तुम भी दया और करुणा के पथ पे चल सकते हो उंगलीमान।
तुम वही हो जिन्हें लोग बुद्धा कहते हैं, जो लोगों को मुक्ति के मार्ग पर चलना सिखाता। मैं बहुत दूर निकल चुका हूं। मैंने बहुत हत्याएं की है। अब मेरे लिए रुकना असंभव है।
असंभव कुछ नहीं, जब आंखें खुले तभी सवेरा।
मैं पुनः जीवन की ओर नहीं मुड़ सकता। बहुत देर हो चुकी।
तुम में इतनी चेतना है कि जो तुमने किया था वो बुरा था। इसका अर्थ है कि तुम में इतनी समझ है कि क्या बुरा है और क्या अच्छा है। अंगुलीमाल, जिस दिन से तुमने अच्छा कार्य शुरू किया उस दिन से तुम्हारा नया जीवन शुरू हो जाएगा।
मैं कितने भी अच्छे कार्य करूं, लोग मुझे उसी दृष्टिकोण से देखेंगे और मुझे चैन से जीने नहीं देंगे।
यदि तुमने हिंसा का मार्ग छोड़ा तो मैं तुम्हें मार्ग दिखलाऊंगा, तुम्हारा संरक्षण करूंगा, तुम्हें लोगों की घृणा से बचाऊंगा। बस पहला पग तुम्हें ही उठाना है।
ये हो सकता है?
अवश्य हो सकता है। तुम में असामान्य बुद्धि है अंगुलीमाल। तुम आत्मज्ञान के पथ पे बहुत आगे जाओगे।
मैं आपको वचन देता हूं, मैं सारे बुराई के रास्ते छोड़ दूंगा। आपके पीछे करुणा के पथ पर चलना सीखूंगा। कृपया कृपया मुझे आपका शिष्य बना दीजिए।
मैं शिष्य नहीं बनाता, व्यक्ति स्वयं संग से जुड़ता है।
Thank you so much. I just want to ask your queries and doubts and questions regarding to today's webinar. You are most welcome. I hope that today's webinar is the most useful for all of us. Communication skill is the important part of our personality. Everyone need to develop communication skill. In professional setup, it is very necessary. And nowadays, communication skill subject is having a huge importance, and it has very micro topics also, like pre-sale, post-sale, and it is divided into so many subtopics also. So I will hand over to Mr. Piyush. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you.
So I request each and every participant who have any question, any query, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the questions.
It's slide sugar. Stop sharing.
Sir, good morning. Good morning, ma'am. एक second, we'll request. Yes, Vikas ji. I think
Yes.
Neetu ma'am has a question, and before that, I think Kataria sir has raised his hand. Neetu, just hold on, huh? Kataria
Okay,
sir, please go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it was very excellent presentation, very simple way you could explain the importance of communication. I do agree that the communication is most important. And many times we lose our friends, we lose our relationship because of poor communication. So we have to have, especially we professional people, we have to have very good communication system. And because whenever we are going to client or we are doing inspection, we are doing auditing, that communication skill plays very important role to develop a good rapport and provide a value addition to the organization. My question is today's contest where the multimedia plays very big, and that is conditioning our young generation how to see their future and how we can ensure that they are also good. Like this, we learn our communication from our parents because they spend a lot of time with us. Today's generation, they don't spend much time. So how do you think these challenges which multimedia has put you condition their mind and the parents do? I don't say everyone, but most of it they are lack of time for their children
Sir, time
because
is
all this
very
all
nice
this
opinion you have given.
you comes from our relationship. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Time is our personal property. We can utilize it whatever we wish. So if deliberately you want to improve our communication skill, so we have to work on that. We have to observe people. We have to read a language, at least one single language. One should be very proficient in a single language, because language is the source of communication. So many people, they mix up languages. Even verbal communication is not good, whether they are speaking in Marathi, Hindi, or English. Whenever one is talking in Hindi, he should thoroughly well known about Hindi, or if one is talking in English. So my advice is talk in pure language. Don't mix up languages. Second thing is language is only source of communication. Doesn't matter whether one is talking in English or Hindi or Marathi. So thought clarity should be there. And one more important thing, body language you cannot avoid. Natural, it happens, body language. So we learn how to read the body language of others, as well as we should know how to control body language of other ourselves also. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think Neetu ma'am had a question. Neetu ma'am, please
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah.
यस सर. सर थैंक यू सो मच, बहुत अच्छा सेशन था. मेरा एक क्वेश्चन ये है कि पर्सनली कम्युनिकेशन हम किसी से करते हैं, रिसीवर सेंडर, दो कंपोनेंट आपने बताए. इसमें प्रोफेशनली या पर्सनली, सपोज वी आर कम्युनिकेटिंग, हमारी तरफ से हम बेस्ट कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं, बट रिसीवर इज नॉट रिस्पॉन्डिंग. तो इन दिस केस वी शुड स्टॉप टू कम्युनिकेट और वी शुड हैव एनी अदर वे, और कोई ऐसा तरीका है जिससे कि वो सामने वाला समझ पाए और हमारी चीजों को फॉलो करे?
Ma'am, this is a very important question you have raised. So there is the sole responsibility of communicator, whether the message is communicated or not. I will give you one example. If you have sent an email to somebody else, it is your responsibility whether email has been received by him. Second thing is how he has interpreted it and what he has acted upon it. So unless and until you don't get feedback, the communication process remains incomplete. So it is our responsibility. to communicate. If it is not communicated, then you use other form of communication, like you call it directly and ask him whether she has received your message or not. So this
Sir,
is,
my
and I think probably there is a channel. If you remember my slide, there is a channel and there is a hurdle also. So which channel you are using for communicating? For example, if you are communicating through mobile, then mobile network is the channel. It is depend upon the network of the mobile, whether your communication is successful or not successful. So it is your duty, again you ask him whether he has received your message or not.
Sir, my question is for only direct communication,
Yeah,
face to face.
any communication, it is the responsibility of the communicator only, not responsibility of receiver. You cannot put blame on receiver whether he has received or not, he has acted upon. It is our responsibilities.
Receiver is listening but
Yeah.
not responding.
So he is deliberately not responding. Your duty is only whether your message is conveyed or not. To act upon it, it is on his part.
So if I can add with your permission, Vikas ji, I think what Neetu ma'am is referring is, according to me, a part of starting this entire communication process.
Okay.
So one is, I think, when you are communicating something, a couple of things need to be understood: is what you are communicating, why you are communicating, what is the purpose of communicating that portion. And if there is clarity in purpose, see, I'll tell you, when you tell someone not to do a particular thing, there are a good 50% chances that that person might not just listen to you, whatever be your communication mode. The motivation or the purpose or the reason why that is important, why that communication is being sent in the first place, what are the pain areas. If a person does not relate to what the essence of that communication is, he will never implement it. So this is a chapter by itself, where what you are communicating, normally what happens is, sometimes when we let's take for example, we send a circular out from head office. I think we just sending a direct circular from head office. I don't think the purpose, the vision, the intent, what is the output desired is not clarity. There is no clarity in that communication. The moment that is lost, people who are transmitting that communication for effectiveness from people who are below them are not able to explain the very core purpose, intent. And if there is, if the communication is without purpose, intent, benefit, in today's world, everyone looks at their benefit from whatever they want to do. Even if you have to give water to somebody, you say ki mera kya fayda. So that fayda, nuksan, purpose, if that is clearly communicated, the whole idea about communication effectiveness comes from good managership, where you understand a particular requirement and then it is conveyed down. That is when people will, if people can relate to that objective, people can relate to the pain point, only then there will be effectiveness. So मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि communication is one part, but pre and post the communication is also very important. And Vikas ji briefly touched about pre and post communication in detail, where it is very important that the intent, purpose is clearly communicated and understood for it to get effectiveness. ये मेरा मानना है.
I think probably you have talked much about decoding of the communication,
Correct.
decoding part. So the receiver who decodes the communication and he interprets it according to his own interests.
Correct.
Sometimes he or she sends feedback, sometimes she doesn't send feedback. So it doesn't mean that the whole communication is failed out. So deliberately, if he is not acting upon it, it is also feedback. The sender should know how to learn the feedback. Each and every time it is not necessary that he will give you direct feedback. Sometimes indirect feedback. When he keeps silence, silence is also feedback. If you want to receive payment from anybody, you have sent reminder, you have sent your email also, but still the person is not responding. It means that he has received your mail, your message, but he is not responding, means he is avoiding, he want to avoid his payment. So each and every time it is not necessary to get feedback also. So this is also feedback if you are not getting anything signal.
Vikasji, there's a very interesting question in the chat box. Shall I read it out for you? It's from Surendra Mankarji. Mankarji, hi, good to hear from you after a very long time. It says, in high pressure situations, how can one maintain clarity and composure in communication, especially when dealing with difficult stakeholders or team conflicts? And he also says, maybe you've answered this earlier, he joined a little late. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Maybe you might have answered earlier, but I joined late. Okay. Okay. So in high pressure situation, how can one maintain clarity and composure in communication? So whenever you are working with a high pressure, so as possible as you keep it in a written form of communication, because see, pressure can be mount up. If you verbally communicate, verbal communication is not having any evidence. Written communication, you can preserve evidence each and every time. So in that case, you communicate in written form only. If the boss is in front of you, even in that case also, in some important points, you keep it in writing. This is the best form of communication if it is a formal communication. In case of informal communication, there is no way you can communicate in either way. I hope that you got answer of your question. I have already explained the difference between verbal, non-verbal, written and oral communication. So in high pressure, you use written communication preferably. Please, any more questions?
Yeah, anything is to do with the attitude of a person whom we are communicating. Because many times their attitude is not listening or not following you. Like if we see political scenario,
Yeah.
opposition sitting and that leading or the ruling organization wanted to convey something, good thing, but they don't want to listen. They will always counter. Uh, so, so there's also something to do with the people attitude. Another thing which is important is your, as you told, your proficiency in the language. That is most important. What happened? People don't find the right word to put forward to communicate the right sense. As Sumit sir has told, you are communicating, sending IUM to the people, and they ignore it because maybe we are unable to put the right thing. Why we are? What is the objective behind that circular?
Yeah.
So, what do you say about it?
What you have described
Because
previously about the attitude
we
of,
don't have good vocabulary, as you rightly said. Your language, if you are talking in Hindi, आपकी language हिंदी में शुद्ध अक्षर और अक्षर जो होने चाहिए, आपकी vocabulary ऐसी होनी चाहिए कि you have words to put forward to the opposition so that it will go in his mind. Of course, you have told it is a complete science, gesture, your posture, your facial, your communicating. A lot of things are there.
yeah.
One has to really exercise and improve his communication skill. Thank you.
Yeah, sir, in this case, we have to work on personal development. So, in our personality, communication skill, people oftenly understand that only verbal communication is the sort of communication, but non-verbal communication, our body language, our expression, facial, our contact, our way of maintaining relationship with others, all these things come under this. And one situation you have already mentioned, that about attitude of the people. So in this case, we play role of receiver only. We receive signal from them. So we have to give them feedback. We have to provide them feedback about their attitude towards others. So in this case, change can happen. In this case, message can be conveyed from one person to another person or group of persons.
Because I have a last point.
Yeah.
How do you see whenever we try to change posture or gesture, uh, it's a very tough task according to me, because if I am used to standing with my hands closed, which may be looked as a closed gesture, but I'm used to that position. How do you consciously try to change it? Because it doesn't happen very easily, like your sitting posture, your standing posture, someone slouching all the time. How do you change that effectively?
Yeah, we can change it effectively. For that purpose, we have to practice mindfulness. So this is the excellent exercise. You have to daily practice mindfulness so that you can control each and every micro movement of yourself. And at the same time, if your consciousness is there, you can observe the body language of others also. You can identify whether person is listening to you carefully or not, whether he is attending you or not. So mindfulness is the key of success in body language.
Nice. Nothing from my side now, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
If there are any other questions, I request you all to please unmute or put it in the chat box. Else we can request Piyush to come in. I think over to you, Piyush.
Yes, sir. So thank you so much, Mr. Vikas Patil, for such a powerful and insightful session on communication skills. Your words have not only educated us, but also inspired us to implement effective communication in our day-to-day lives. On behalf of organizing team, I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our participants being a part of this special 250th webinar milestone. Your consistent presence, enthusiasm, and support are what we make Sadgun Sangh webinars so impactful and meaningful. We look forward having with you us in our upcoming session as well. ICS is pleased to provide you all its research and development, integrated management system, QMS, EMS, OH, SAS, excellent in education management, ISO made easy in Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, Hindi. For reading any of the above book, please contact Miss Shushma Kindlekar. Urja. About the author, Dr. Sundar Kataria. This is a book is designed to help engineer a career purpose of quality and impact. As an engineer, you have a natural advantage. Your mind is trained to analyze, solve, and improve. By applying this same skills to yourself, you can build a career that is meaningful, resilient, and valuable. Just humanity has always pursued quality in its inventions. You too can strive from quality your life and career. With a clear vision, mission, and quality policy as your foundation, you'll have two tools you need to engineer your life with an intention and purpose. Remember, as a member of quality species, which we are wired to seek improvement and excellency. This journey isn't just about achieving success, it's about becoming the best version of yourself and profession as a person. Feedback from, please register on www.sadgunsang.org and go in your login and give us a feedback. Thank you for being a part of Sadgun Sangh Communication Skills. We look forward to having you with us in our upcoming session as well. Till then, stay inspired, keep learning, and keep growing. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful day ahead. Here we go to the closing ceremony.